You are being controlled and you do not even know it. Every single day, you walk through a world that has been meticulously designed to separate you from your money. Not through force, not through theft, but through something far more insidious, the invisible forces that shape your desires, your habits, and your decisions without your conscious awareness. You believe that you are making free choices. You believe that you are in control. You believe that when you walk into a store, open an app, or click on an advertisement, you are exercising your own will. That is the most dangerous illusion of modern life. The truth is that your spending is being orchestrated by forces you cannot see, forces that have studied your psychology more deeply than you have ever studied yourself. These forces know exactly when you are vulnerable. They know exactly which emotions trigger your buying impulses. They know exactly how to bypass your rational mind and speak directly to your primitive brain. They have spent billions of dollars on research, on data, on behavioral science, all for the sole purpose of getting you to spend money you do not have on things you do not need. And they are winning. You are losing. Not because you are weak, but because you are human. And being human means being vulnerable to forces that have evolved to exploit your nature. Let me show you how the mechanism works. Your brain has a system called the reward pathway. It is the part of your brain that releases dopamine, the chemical that makes you feel pleasure. The reward pathway was designed by evolution to encourage you to seek out things that are good for your survival: food, water, sex, social connection. But the modern world has hijacked this system. Every time you see an advertisement, every time you scroll through social media, every time you walk past a store window, your brain is being bombarded with stimuli designed to trigger that dopamine release. The colors, the sounds, the words, the images, all of them are carefully engineered to make you feel a small surge of pleasure, a tiny sense of anticipation, a subtle feeling that this product, this experience, this purchase will make you happy. And because your brain cannot tell the difference between a real survival need and a manufactured desire, it responds the same way. It releases dopamine. You feel good, you want more, you buy the thing. And then, moments after the purchase, the dopamine fades, the pleasure disappears. You are left with the thing you bought and the empty feeling that it did not actually make you happy. So you look for the next thing, and the cycle continues. This is not a failure of willpower. This is a biological response to a world that has learned to hack your biology. Let me give you a real example of how this plays out in everyday life. Sarah is a graphic designer in Los Angeles. She earns $85,000 a year. She is smart, creative, and self-aware. And Sarah spends over $600 a month on things she does not need. She orders food delivery 3 times a week because the apps send her push notifications with limited-time offers that trigger her fear of missing out. She buys clothes she never wears because the Instagram influencers she follows make her feel inadequate. She upgrades her phone every 18 months because the marketing campaigns make her feel that her current device is obsolete. She takes vacations she cannot afford because her friends are posting pictures of theirs. Sarah is not stupid. Sarah is not weak. Sarah is caught in a web of invisible forces that are more powerful than her conscious mind. And she is not alone. Every single person you know is caught in the same web. The difference is that some people have learned to see the web. Others walk through it every day, oblivious to the strings that are pulling them.
Now I need to tell you about the most powerful invisible force of all. It is called social comparison. Your brain is wired to compare yourself to others. It is an evolutionary mechanism that helped you understand where you stood in the social hierarchy, which was essential for survival. But in the modern world, social comparison has become a weapon. Social media platforms have turned comparison into an endless scroll of curated perfection. You see the highlight reels of other people's lives, the vacations, the promotions, the new cars, the beautiful homes, and your brain automatically compares that to your own life. And because your brain is wired to notice threats, it focuses on the gap between where you are and where you think you should be. That gap creates anxiety. It creates inadequacy. It creates a feeling that you are falling behind. And that feeling is the most powerful sales trigger in existence. When you feel inadequate, you want to fix it. You want to close the gap. You want to buy something that will make you feel better, that will make you feel successful, that will signal to the world that you are not falling behind. The companies know this. They have built entire industries on your insecurity, and they are using social comparison to sell you products that you do not need, to become a version of yourself that is not even real. Let me give you the psychological shift that will free you from these invisible forces. You need to stop asking yourself, "What do I want?" and start asking yourself, "What is making me want this?" The first question is a consumer question. The second question is a strategic question. The first question keeps you trapped in the cycle of desire. The second question frees you by revealing the mechanism behind the desire. When you feel the urge to buy something, pause. Ask yourself, what triggered this urge? Was it an ad? Was it a social media post? Was it a conversation with a friend? Was it a feeling of boredom, stress, or inadequacy? If you can identify the trigger, you can break the chain. You can see that the urge is not coming from a genuine need. It is coming from a manufactured desire. And once you see that, you are no longer a puppet. You are no longer controlled by forces you cannot see. You are in control. You can choose whether to act on the urge or not. Most people never pause. They never ask the question. They just react, and that is why they are controlled. Here is the deeper truth that the wealthy understand and the rest do not. The wealthy are not immune to these invisible forces. They feel the same urges. They experience the same social comparison. They are vulnerable to the same marketing techniques. The difference is that they have built systems to protect themselves. They have created rules that limit their exposure to triggers. They have designed their environments to make it easy to say no. They have surrounded themselves with people who reinforce rational thinking. They have stopped trying to be strong and started trying to be smart. The poor and the middle class do the opposite. They expose themselves to triggers all day long. They scroll through social media. They watch commercials. They walk through malls. They live in environments that are designed to make them spend. And then they wonder why they cannot control themselves. It is not a mystery. It is a predictable outcome of a predictable system. If you want to break free, you have to change the system. You have to change your environment. You have to change your exposure. You have to stop fighting your brain and start designing around it. Let me give you the actionable system that will protect you from the invisible forces controlling your spending. Step 1. Audit your triggers. For 1 week, write down every single time you feel the urge to buy something. What were you doing? What were you feeling? What triggered the urge? At the end of the week, you will see a pattern. You will see which environments, which emotions, which stimuli trigger your spending. That is your data. That is your map of the minefield. Step 2. Remove the triggers from your environment. Unfollow the influencers who make you feel inadequate. Unsubscribe from the retail emails that tempt you to spend. Turn off the push notifications from shopping apps. Uninstall the food delivery apps that make ordering too easy. You cannot control your brain, but you can control your environment. Make it easy to say no. Make it hard to say yes. Step 3, and this is the master key, replace the dopamine hit of buying with the dopamine hit of saving. Every time you resist an impulse purchase, transfer that amount into your savings account. Watch the number grow. Celebrate the growth. Your brain will learn to associate saving with pleasure. Over time, the urge to save will become stronger than the urge to spend. Here is the final truth that will either set you free or haunt you for the rest of your life.
The invisible forces controlling your spending will never go away. The ads will keep coming. The social media posts will keep appearing. The pressure to consume will never stop. The companies that profit from your spending will not change. They will not become ethical. They will not stop exploiting your psychology. They will not care about your financial well-being. The only thing that can change is you. You can become aware of the forces that are controlling you. You can build systems to protect yourself. You can design a life that is not driven by manufactured desires. You can take back control of your money and your mind. It will not be easy. It will require you to look at yourself honestly. It will require you to admit that you have been manipulated. It will require you to let go of the illusion that you are in control. But once you do, you will be free. You will no longer be a puppet. You will no longer be a consumer. You will be a builder. You will be an owner. You will be the author of your own life. Start today, not tomorrow, not next month, today, because the only thing worse than being controlled is being controlled and not even knowing it.